Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today we have another Mailbag episode as we get geared up for the season. We're less than 3 months away from kickoff now, Jeff. It's coming up. Drafts in less than 2 months probably for some people. Beginning of August they'll start. Getting excited? We have to this is close, man. It's almost here.
Yeah, it's time to start getting amped up a bit. It is funny. I'm starting to kind of figure out my favorites here and there, kind of who I'm watching. So I'm kind of dialing in. I can sense the season closing in on me.
It is, and I'm hearing some good news about some of my, targets for the year, like Jai. Did you see? Yeah, you saw that
immediately after I put him on the overvalued list. They come out and they say they're going to feature him, and I was like, of course.
It's one of those interesting ones that, hey, people have been a little bit down. I'm Jay. I've been on your side the whole time, so I have him ranked 15th currently. So we'll see where that goes. I'm liking those stories I'm hearing from that. So that'll be an interesting one. I'm hoping though he stays. I actually didn't like the news in a way because other people are going to jump on the Jai bandwagon now.
Oh yeah, so. And actually I thought the same thing after I hyped up Chris Hogan with the Edelman possibility of a 4-game suspension. No idea what's going to happen. I'm thinking that it's probably not going to go anywhere now, which is good because I do not want Edelman to have a 4-game suspension. All of a sudden, Chris Hogan get amped up.
Oh, and Andrew Luck's throwing the ball again?
Yeah. Yep.
And
a lot to go over, really.
Is. But we'll get into that. Maybe another episode. We'll get more to Mailbag here. Maybe some of that stuff will come up as we go. But if you guys want to get in on one of our listener leagues this year, which the winner of the entire thing is going to get our championship belt, which you can go to Instagram and take a look at if you go to Fantasy Football Prophet on Instagram. You can enter the league by reviewing us on iTunes. Just give us a 5-star review. Send us an email at fantasyfootballprophet@gmail.com, letting us know you made the review, which name you used. We'll enter you into one of the leagues. We actually have,
hard.
It is. It's a difficult thing. But we have quite a few people that are already entered, so want to get in on that. That belt will be... I'm going to try to win it back. So
yeah, it was and those listener leagues are a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun last year. Yep. It's definitely something you should check out if you're interested at all.
Yeah, definitely. So get your reviews in. You still got a bit of time. We'll start trying to set up those drafts as we get into August and early August. Nothing's set in stone yet when we'll do them, but we're definitely going to make sure everyone's available. We'll have a couple different times, so it's going to be a lot of fun for that. So let's get into the mailbag, Jeff. Got a few questions this week. Again, not a lot yet because it's still, we're not quite there. I know next month people will have a lot more questions when we get closer and closer to draft time. So let's get going here. Let me see. I'm going to start off with Eric. Asked us, because we just talked about Andrew Luck. Where would you rank Andrew Luck now that he's throwing again? I'm going to say if he's Andrew Luck, healthy Andrew Luck's a top 10 quarterback for me. So he's a top 10. I'm pretty sure I'll sneak him into top 10. For me, that's not too far. I had him at 13th. So that just puts him ahead of maybe, Matt Ryan. For me, I had different rankings than you, obviously. Dak Prescott, Matt Ryan, Stafford. I think he goes up there. I think he does. And I kind of hope he stays. That's great value. I want Andrew Luck if he's going to be drafted around there.
Yeah. For me, I think all right, he is throwing, no doubt about it. He's gearing up. He's going in the right direction. But at the same time, I really do want to see him play a little bit, so some sort of contact, anything like that, before I really throw him in my top 10, where I would actually draft him as my starter. Yes, he has a ton of value, but even right now, the fact that he threw it, very good step in the right direction. But he'd probably fall at like number 12 for me, something like that.
I think we'll see him go up the boards probably now already after this.
Well, it's difficult too because he also took a year off.
Yeah,
if any other player did this, would you be thinking that he's automatically going to go back to where he was? Because if he does, right, he's a top 4 guy probably. He's a top 5 guaranteed almost. Yeah, and you're thinking that's great value. But if not, even if he takes a step in the wrong direction, he is probably an 8, 9, 10, something like that. But now you have guys like, are you putting him over Jared Goff? Jared Goff had a nice little season last year.
I think I would actually.
Right? So, the people he would have to jump over, pretty substantial, even like a Roethlisberger, who has, a ton of weapons. I don't know. Phillip Rivers, and Matthew Stafford's a good one too. He's kind of the unsung hero. I would still take Luck over Stafford, but yeah, so I'm still waiting to really see him in action. But it's great that he actually threw a college ball or a high school ball? High school ball. That's what it was.
Hey, it's still something though.
No, it is absolutely in the right direction.
There. All right. Let's see here. Next question we get from Drew. He asked, is Davante Adams a reach at pick 12? What do you say?
Overall? Then, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Davante Adams is going to be very good this year. I'm not probably picking any wide receiver at pick 12, I don't think. I just don't see it. I mean, it's going to depend who it is, but it's not going to be Davante Adams. So even in PPR, anything. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from that kind of spot. I don't think you're going to have to pick him at 12. He's not going to go there.
Well, depending, right? So if you do have a snake draft and you're in the back end, you're probably just going to miss out on him. So I'm assuming this is what they're asking. You know what I mean? If you have like a pick 9 and 13 or 8 and 12, you probably won't get him. But there's other guys there, right? Like you'll possibly Julio Jones, possibly Michael Thomas, AJ Green, Keenan Allen are there. I would probably pick all of them before Davante, getting close, but so you can get a very good wide receiver, but I think that's early for him, especially if someone like Julio drops.
Yeah, and that it probably will. Somebody like Julio probably will be around there. So yeah, that's too early. All right, Marty asks, strategy for having the 8 to 12 pick in the first round, let's say, in a 0.5 PPR league. He basically says, would you go running back, wide receiver, running back? What are you going to do?
He has like a 12-person league, like 8 to 12.
So you'll be able to get one at the end of the first and the beginning of the second.
I'm hoping. Is it 0.5 PPR?
Yeah,
it throws a little bit, but I think
it doesn't affect it too much.
No, I think I'm still going running back, and I'm praying that someone like Alvin Kamara drops to me. If you are like 8, maybe you get lucky. He catches a ton of passes as well, so it's kind of best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of running backs that are around there that I would still definitely take before a wide receiver. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go running back. I'm going to try to get as many running backs as I can, especially in that kind of position. 8 to 12, I feel like you could pull off a nice situation. I mean, Melvin Gordon could definitely drop 8 to 12.
Oh, yeah.
Or somebody like that. Or you get like a Melvin Gordon, Devontae Freeman. Leonard Fournette could drop in there. Get like a Leonard Fournette, Devontae Freeman. Leonard Fournette, Jordan Howard. Those kind of combinations of players. Delvin Cook, is his second running back. There's all kinds of combinations of running backs down there that I think would be great.
And especially with the 0.5, that will make sure that, the 3-4 wide receivers are at least thought of up there.
Yep.
And this is assuming if you're 8 to 12, you're not going to get your hands on an Antonio Brown or DeAndre Hopkins, who I obviously would pick in the first round in a 0.5, But I mean, even your boy, Saquon Barkley, he might be there if you got,
really might be, yeah.
If you're around 8.
It's all going to depend on which draft what your draft is, but he could definitely be there.
I would definitely be leaning towards running back, though. I think it's just a much more of a need, especially if you have a 12-team league.
Yeah.
They will disappear much quicker.
I'm just running back. Just get running backs. You can 5 wide receivers later. It's kind of how. Yeah. I mean, I'm always going to play it. I think we've said that enough times. If you ever listen to any of our shows, we've said that probably a million times.
And there are a few running backs. If there are a few running backs, I don't know what round you'd actually have to get them, but someone like McKinnon or McCaffrey that you can get not later, but probably late second round or something like that, or who knows, maybe third, depending on what happens. But someone like that can really boost it too. So if you did want to go running back, wide receiver, something like that, that's totally fine. But I prefer to lead off with running back.
All right, let's see here. Master asks, do you put a lot more value on pass catching backs in PPR? Even if they're a tier below a skilled back? Is that example, let's say, would you value Christian McCaffrey over a Jordan Howard, which I know you wouldn't normally in standard.
Correct.
You'd probably want Howard, but does McCaffrey jump him in PPR?
In PPR, absolutely.
Yeah, especially with like that combination. That's close enough for me.
Yeah, that's a very good example.
Yeah, because those two are close enough where, yeah, I'm going to take McCaffrey in PPR. I'm going to probably take Howard. I mean, I like McCaffrey, though. I'm certain. I do like McCaffrey. So
yeah,
he's also close to Howard.
I agree. But I mean, actually, that leads perfectly to what I was saying before. There are a few that their stock does raise, right? Or rise. And McKinnon is one of them.
Yep.
McCaffrey is definitely one of them.
Like you said, yeah, would you take one? I mean, if they're a tier below? Not if they're a tier below, really, because I don't feel like Howard is really quite a tier below or ahead of McCaffrey. They're close enough. It's not going to be like you're going to take McCaffrey over. Are you going to take McCaffrey over LeSean McCoy?
Ooh. I was really hard on McCoy.
Yeah, see that McCoy's.
I mean, I would
you
be
probably
very,
would. There.
I'd be very interested in that, and I also do like McCaffrey. I think he showed a lot his rookie year, and especially knowing he's going to catch damn near 100 balls. I mean, he really does have that opportunity, and if they hand it off to him a little more, I mean, he's trending in the right direction anyway. So he's a great example, but he's also tough because I think his upside is huge. So someone like him over McCoy, I would. But I totally understand if someone, other people. Actually, would you make that McCaffrey over McCoy in a PPR league? Because it's not like McCoy doesn't catch balls either. No, I mean,
I almost feel like I would because I'm worried about LeSean McCoy.
Yeah,
I think the team's terrible. It's sad. Like they made the playoffs last year, which we don't even seem to realize they weren't. But
I mean, yeah, they did. But
somehow
their offense is
they're not good.
Way different.
Yeah,
no.
they're just not. They're not good. And he's 30 years old now. Yeah, not really. I'm worried. I'm just going to avoid him almost in all situations, unless I don't know where I would have to even get McCoy. But yeah, I think McCaffrey's somebody I would take. The PPR guy, something like that, he's gonna jump him. I'm not gonna rank him ahead of him in standard, but yeah, I don't know. That's one of them.
Are there any running backs that not even jumping up a tier or anything, but which running backs in your mind benefit the most from like PPR?
I mean, really, McCaffrey is like the one you think of. I mean, yeah, McKinnon, obviously, like you said, those are the main ones. I mean, there's not a lot to me. Yeah, I guess the Chris Thompson, like he to me is not much of a value in standard, but in PPR, yeah, he might actually become something. Deion Lewis, again, he's another one where he's going to probably do some more pass catching stuff too, possibly. They're going to have to use him that way.
That's a very good point.
With Henry there, he's going to have to be used that way quite a bit. So, I mean, those guys are actually the obvious answers. Really, though, those are the guys. I mean, yeah, Duke Johnson, or just bring the normal names up, which to me, like Duke Johnson, Chris Thompson's more valuable, I feel like, in standard than Duke Johnson a lot of times, but to me, they're not, I don't care about them in standard very much. But PPR, all of a sudden, they're great. It's just, it's a weird thing. Like, they just really jump. And I think Tariq Cohen's going to be that guy again this year, too. I kind of like Tariq Cohen for PPR standard purposes. I think they're going to use him a little bit, but there's no one that really just like, yeah, it's those obvious names. I don't really see. We'll have to wait and see what goes on in preseason if there's a couple guys that start doing some more. And shoot, maybe it's gonna be Ty Montgomery. He's a guy no one talks about anymore because of all the other backs with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams there. But Montgomery, I think he's still going to be useful. Right. There's a little chatter about him I saw today or the day before, like he's going to be used.
I mean, even I don't know how he's going to be designated, and I can't believe I'm bringing up his name. But I was looking for backs to be sleepers, everything like that. Right?
Tavon Austin?
Yeah, Tavon Austin. Yeah. And the fact, I mean, obviously
he's wider. Yeah,
he hyped him up, but right now he's only listed as a running back for them. And
I think he should get running back.
Right, if you get running back designation. And
then you can use him at wide receiver. That'd be nice.
Exactly. So that would actually be interesting. And that's kind of the perfect storm, but how many times have been burnt by him. But, in a PPR league, he might actually hold some value.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next question from Doyle Rules. It says, what teams have invested in their O-lines, and which players do you think will benefit the most? Honestly, I don't think there's a team out there that has improved enough for me to change my opinion on a player. And really change anything. There just isn't this year.
And I know there are certain teams that really went out and tried to strengthen it, But it's very difficult to know whether or not that is actually going to take hold right away. And a lot of people did it in the draft. I don't know if those young players are actually going to, come out on top of year one. It's very difficult.
Well, in last year, a lot of people were ranking Isaiah Crowell so high because they're like, Cleveland revamped their line. It's going to be great. Crowell's going to be great. It just didn't happen. Like, It's hard to say. You don't know how you just don't know how it's going to work. So there's nobody that I'm going to be changing my value on because of it. That's, nobody that's like that stand out to me. So,
yeah, no.
All right. Fantasy Prime asked, who is your favorite late round sleeper? Do you have a favorite late round sleeper?
Yeah, I was wondering how deep we wanted to go on this one.
Yeah, it's kind of, there's some guys like way down there that I'm probably going to like. Like, okay, end of the draft last round, Mike Williams. I'm a Mike Williams guy this year.
Right.
That's one of the guys who, Randall Cobb for me. I'll just name a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb, Mike Williams at wide receiver. I like both of them. Again, I liked Randall Cobb last year. There's not much. He's going to be late. Geronimo Allison. I like bringing up his name because basically, though, if Randall Cobb's nothing, maybe Geronimo Allison gets his shot. And even, running back, this isn't, super deep, but we talked about him. Marlon Mack. I do like Marlon Mack, especially if there's a healthy Andrew Luck. Max getting ranked around 30s. That's late round.
Yeah. Right now, and we already brought up his name, but Ty Montgomery. Right now, he's ranked consensus at 59.
Yep.
Running back. Well, and because you don't really know how it's going to shake out, and that's the thing, you're kind of taking a risk on some of these guys.
Well, now how about, this isn't not sold on him, and I just brought his name up, Isaiah Crowell. We've just glossed over him completely. We don't even think about him at all. Yet, the Jets did go out and sign him. He's young enough yet. Powell's 30 years old or whatever. Crowell might actually have a shot to do something and be much more valuable than we think. He really might. Like, I'm not saying I'm sold on him. This is more of a, situation player who's going to be a later round draft pick, which it could be a sleeper right there. It's weird to say. Like, all of a sudden he became way overhyped last year to just completely forgotten about this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually really like that pick. That's a beautiful one to throw at the end of your bench.
Yep. He's going to be one of those like post-hype sleeper guys because he was hyped last year and did nothing. But why not? There could be something there.
A couple other ones we had talked about before, but you say Mike Williams. I say John Ross is along the same lines.
Those kind of players, yep.
But the one that I really, really like is Christian Kirk from Arizona. Okay. He's currently ranked at 67th at wide receiver, but he's going to be the number 2 automatically. Fitzgerald is much more like a glorified tight end. Wonderful player, but obviously, definitely lost a step, if you will. You're going to have Bradford, so I think there could be a lot there. And even something like DJ Moore, and I realize I'm going with youth on this because obviously those guys slip a little farther, but DJ Moore has a ton of upside, and he's 54th wide receiver right now. So guys like that. And another guy that I just want to bring up because I find him intriguing, but it's Cam Meredith.
Yeah,
He's with the Saints. He's going to be a later round pick. You don't really know what to expect because he got hurt last year, but I was really high on him before that injury. And you're going to have Drew Brees. So you never know. You never know with that one.
No, I agree. Those are the kind of guys just to watch out for, all those kind of players. It's hard to say right now how anything's going to shake out. We really don't know. I'll throw out I like Chris Godwin from Tampa. If Deshaun Jackson just isn't going to do much, we don't know yet. He's still there, so Godwin's still the third, but he's a guy who played well at the end of last year. But these are all at the very end of the draft and might not even be drafted type players.
Yeah. And once again, just to double down on my underrated or undervalued people, Tyrod Taylor for QB. He is so ranked so low.
But we're about a month away, I think, from our deep sleepers list. We'll do a deep sleepers list in the middle of July. So that we'll see a lot of these guys. What we usually go you have to be beyond 50 at your position to get on that list. So we'll talk about some of those guys going forward as we get going. All right, we have one more question. That's it. Actually, a couple more questions, but all from the same guy. It's Ultimate 12th E Brown. He asks, what players do you think will fall in rounds 1 to 4 in fantasy drafts? Okay, wait a second. Is there players that are going to fall in those rounds? I don't know exactly the question. Some of the players that I like, Stephon Diggs is one of those guys I think is going to fall later at the end of those rounds that I really like. I think he's like a second round potential, is going to go to the fourth round. There's not a lot of guys that I don't have a lot of guys right now that are standing out to me. In like once you get beyond the first 2 rounds, that third, fourth round is like the dead period to me. I don't know about you. So there's not like I'm not having a lot of guys right now to me that are just standing out mid-tier rounds. Once you get beyond the first couple, I'm trying to think if you got any players there that might fall a little bit that you think are really top quality. Jay Ajayi, there's one.
Yeah, Jay Ajayi.
That's mine.
Yeah, I think maybe Kenyon Drake might fall a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
just
just
trying
trying
to
to
talk about Kalen Ballage.
Yeah,
now, right?
I'm trying to think of the people that don't have the name recognition.
Yeah, that's the kind of guys you got to look
right.
for there.
And I feel like Doug Baldwin always falls a little bit.
Yeah, he will. I think he will too. Again, that's another just not. Yeah.
And if we have anything to do with it, LeSean McCoy will fall a little bit.
All right, how about this part of I like this part. It says, what are your thoughts if I take Kareem Hunt in the second round as an RB2 to back up Le'Veon Bell? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that'd be
I
amazing.
don't think you're going to be able to pull that off.
Unless he already knows he has Le'Veon, unless that's a keeper.
Yeah, if you get Bell, yeah, true. Because, that's a great combination.
Yeah. I mean, if you could get both of those, kudos to you. Absolutely do it.
Either way, even if you can't get Hunt, you can pair up Bell with another running back if you want. That shouldn't be a problem. And then he says, also, I plan to draft either Travis Kelce or Deshaun Watson in the 4th round.
Ooh, what do you think about that?
Me personally, I don't like it. I get it. There's I don't see it. Okay, really, honestly, there's probably nothing wrong with it. Especially if you go like running back, wide receiver at first 3. Then, you get either a top tight end or what you think is a top quarterback. For me personally, I think Deshaun Watson's a reach at the 4th round. And I even think you like Deshaun Watson, but you're not reaching for him.
No.
That's the problem. You know what I mean?
No. And I think in the 4th, even though I probably would wait at least one more round, but if you took Kelce there, I would have no issue with it because I do think he is just head and shoulders, in the top tier of tight ends, and that is a very, very shallow position. So I understand locking that down and spending a little extra on a guy like that. So I would be okay with Kelce at 4. But I do think, even though I think Deshaun Watson will be good, I have a hard time paying a 4th round pick to a QB when I can get one at the end and they're going to be very, very serviceable. So if you want to do that, I would lean towards Kelce. I'd be totally down for that.
Yep, I agree. All right. I think it's going to do it for the mailbag. Keep getting your questions in. We'll add them to the next one. If we don't have a mailbag episode, maybe for the next couple weeks, we'll still, if you send us in your questions, we'll, read them on the show. So get them in. We'll have one more episode this week. And then next week, we're going to talk about, some polarizing players, some of the names we've brought up here and some, getting going here. We'll talk about those coming up with safe players, breakout players, all kinds of stuff every week coming up. So to make sure you guys keep checking us out. Go on Instagram, follow us at Fantasy Football Prophet, Twitter, the FF Prophet. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/fantasyfootballprophet. We'll talk to you guys next time.